Hi everyone, welcome back. I've got my first update, which is update 1 of the reading book challenge, which is reading 5 books by UK Bonfire Night, which is the 5th of November. I've got to admit, I have been really nervous about doing this. I think it's just a confidence thing. I've been watching and keeping up to date with the other girls that have been doing the challenge on YouTube. I'll link their details in the description bar because it is like a collab video, and I suppose I just felt as though I would be the one that would be lagging behind, and I'm sort of right about that. But I watched one of the updates this morning, which was update number 2, because I think quite a lot of the YouTubers did an update after the first month, and I was watching Julia's update this morning and it inspired me. She seems to me a really smart person, a really intelligent person. Not that I'm not, but you know, she just strikes me as you know, very well spoken, eloquently speaking, and just, I don't know, she's just a really clever person. And I just sort of expected her to have finished 3 books by now, and my update looked really stupid. And these are silly thoughts, because she just finished her first book and is 100 pages into her second book. So she did her update not having finished her first book, and I thought, well, no, Kelly, you can't do an update not having finished a book, and yet she did. So thank you, Julie, for inspiring me, and it just goes to show what these sorts of collabs are for. The real reason to, you know, yes, it's about sharing each other's contents with each other's subscribers, but I wanted to be encouraged and motivated and supported to do more reading, and without realising it, these other girls have helped me to do that. So thanks again, Lorraine, for inviting me on this challenge, and I'm going to do my first update. I'm really proud of myself, actually, because I've had a huge amount on. I've had hardly any time for myself because my daughter's been you know, off from school, and now she's back to school I will have a bit more time to myself. So I might take a half an hour to 40 minutes sort of lunch break for myself in the middle of the day between my errands and stuff to do some reading, who knows. But I'm nearly completely finished. So I've been working on J.K. Rowling's The Casual Vacancy, and I'm on page 404, and yes, I'm not going to say what chapter it is because it's in Roman numerals, and yeah, that's not my strength. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this book. I actually didn't expect to, because Harry Potter is one of my absolute favourite series, and sometimes when you big yourself up over something, or you watch an actor or actress after they're well known for something, in this case an author, you know, you can be disappointed, especially if it's sort of really iconic work. But she hasn't disappointed me whatsoever. I've watched and read a lot of reviews on this book as well before I bought it, and in sort of research for my videos, and people were saying how it's quite depressing and how they struggled because nothing really has a happy ending. Let me just bring you down a bit. Obviously I don't know what the absolute ending is, but I can see where they're coming from. But at the minute I'm watching Game of Thrones on the TV. I'm not saying this is like Game of Thrones, but if you like that sort of, you're not necessarily going to get an "oh, isn't that lovely" sort of thing, and if you're happy to watch other people's ideas of what would really happen in real life, then you might enjoy this book. I like that about Game of Thrones. It's not predictable as you expect stories to go, you know, where they want to fill you with those warm, lovely feelings. I feel this is written in a way where it's not to be a pessimist, but what would really happen in real life. I've just watched something where something really awful has happened to one of the main characters. I don't want to spoiler alert it, but if I talk about it, it's probably be really obvious. So if you're going to read this book and you haven't yet, then you know, just skip ahead a little bit. But something's just happened to a very young girl who, although she wasn't written in a traditionally likeable way, as in, oh, you know, she's really polite and you know, and just a lovely girl, she's a real person who has done really well with the cards in life that she's been dealt. And I personally like the character, and something really awful's just happened to her, which should never happen to any woman, and at a very young age. And I'm yet to read and find out how she deals with that. But yeah, it's dealing with some really gritty topics such as social services, child protection, sexual assault, you know, and then just other domestic violence. There's a character in it in particular called Simon, who is a father and is very abusive to his wife and his 2 sons, and it is hard stuff to read. And I'm not saying I'm cold-hearted, but I'm finding it enjoyable to read because I feel like similar to when I watch Game of Thrones, that's all I can sort of add, that it's not predictable. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Like, for example, I'll give one example. There's a lad in the story called, I get the 2 younger lads mixed up. I think it's called Andrew, and he's absolutely besotted with a girl that's come into the village from London called Gaia. And he thinks about it all the time, and he's trying to spot her and put himself in positions where he'll be near her and can talk to her. And you sort of imagine, if you were reading this, that they may end up together or something, but I think it's more likely to end in a much more awful way. It's much like, you know, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it's much more likely with the way she's writing this book to maybe like attack her or something like that, which is not what you necessarily want to read. But I mean, what still sort of things do go on in real life. So I'm going to leave it there because I'm really worried I'm going to offend somebody. But yeah, not everybody you meet is a lovely person. Not every story you read ends with a happy ending. And I find this really real and really gritty, and I feel I can't give you information to do with the style of writing and stuff like that. I'm not going to be reviewing this in a technical way. But if you want sort of that beach holiday read, I'm not sure this would be the one, because personally I do want to read something a little bit more upbeat in that scenario. But if you like reading real life stories, personally I love true crime. I read a lot of true crime. So for example, one of the reasons why I'm not going through the books as quickly is because I read True Detective magazine every month, and I also really love this one called True Crime magazine. There you go, and I read every month, and I'm not going to stop reading those for the sake of the challenge. I just love them too much. But I feel like if you do like true crime and real crime, then you would enjoy this, because it really does get, or psychology even, because it gets into the characters, and they're real characters. So yeah, it's not sort of like one character's really, really good and another character's really, really bad. You know, in psychology, they've proven that the people feel more comfortable with that, you know, with a black and white, and some people will literally attribute all goodness or all badness onto other people, you know, their parents even, one being good and one being all bad. But in this story, J.K. Rowling really shows that every person has good and bad in them, and is an onion of a person, you know. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the mini review on that. I haven't been doing any of my Stop Worrying CBT book, which I expected to do between the books, just because honestly, thumbs up, but I've not really been worrying very much, which is great. And I probably will, you know, get some of that done, but that might be one that if I'm aiming to do 5 and I don't manage 5, that might be the one that doesn't get done. Next I'm going to move on, I think, to A Life of Pi, just because it's not as chunky and I've already done a little bit of that. So yeah, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think I'm going to manage the 5. I'm still going to give it my best shot, but I don't think I'm going to manage the 5. But I'm doing my best, and I'm really proud of myself that I've chugged along with this challenge, because although I love reading, I knew it would be a difficult challenge for me with my schedule. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, guys. Subscribe if you're not already. Check out all the other girls' videos, because they're fantastic, and they'll probably have a lot more sort of technical information that they can give you on their books. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!